Welcome to what has to have been the strangest season in the Canberra Yacht Club's history, and unfortunately it continues. However, in the spirit of innovation, we have put together this presentation video celebrating the highlights of the 2019-20 season with all its highs and lows. It seems strange now, looking back from under the shadow of this pandemic, but this year has brought the lowest lake levels we've seen in some time, along with fires and smoky conditions, Canberra's worst ever hailstorm and the damage that caused to members' boats and club assets before we even heard of COVID-19. It's easy to forget that we actually did have some amazing sailing days and excellent regattas, along with some great social events like the club's 60th anniversary and the 2019 Buoyed Up Dinner with Lisa Blair as our guest speaker. We are so lucky to have such a vibrant and resilient community which has not been daunted by the challenges the year has given us. I'm very proud of the way our community pulled together and made the best of what was on offer. The positive way in which club members and staff and volunteers got on with their jobs is a great credit to themselves and to our club. Before we get into the presentation, I would like to formally thank the people and organisations who have assisted in making all that we do at the CYC possible. Briefly, these include major supporter, Canberra Southern Cross Club. Major sponsors, Fred Kasparik Architects, Angus Reid, Home Buyers Inspections, and Bruce Gale, Capital Insurance Brokers. Other sponsors, Commerce Management Services, Shane Kershaw, Goodyear Auto, Capital Brewery, our Winter Series sponsor, Wild Digital with John Whitfield, and James Nagel from Luxogen. And some other thank yous to Jerry Brooks for being the race officer every Sunday, Ange Cummings for her work on the CYC newsletter, Nick Hilliard for his work on the website, Grish Stromov for all your work on the website developments, which seems to go on all the time, members of the CYC and the volunteers who assist each week and without whom we could not race, our wonderful instructors without whom we could not operate at all, and be one of the largest sail training centres in Australia. And all of you for being part of the best sailing club in Australia and for the camaraderie and good sportsmanship that you bring to all our club activities. And my personal and particular thanks to the members of the CYC Committee and the CYC Sailing Committee and the Sailability Committee. I acknowledge and am very grateful for the many, many hours of volunteer time you put into the Canberra Yacht Club. And last, but by no means least, my thanks personally and on behalf of the club to Steve Hart, Fergus Buckley and Mary Kershaw, who work well above and beyond the call of duty and their individual duty statements.
Time to look at the results over the year. Let's kick things off with the overall Kasparik Architects point score results. Now looking at the post-Christmas point score results, which gave people another chance to see their names on the scoreboard, and we managed to finish it off just before COVID came into play.
She's been out all night again. She don't want nobody's help now. She sees stars and rocket ships. I've been both sides, babe, high and low. If I had my way, never let you go. I've been both sides, babe, high and low. If I had my way, never let you go. I've been both sides, babe, high and low. If I had my way, never let you go.
Now we have the big winners in the hotly contested Championship Series.
I want you by my side, so that I never feel alone again. They've always been so kind, but now they've brought you away from me. I hope they didn't get your mind. Your heart is too strong anyway. We need to fetch back the time they have stolen from us. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it.
It's great to be able to look back and celebrate our younger sailors and their achievements, and we'll move straight into our junior awards presented by Fergus Buckley.
Sam stepped away from single-handed boats a bit this season and tried his hand at crewing on some bigger and faster boats and found a new love in the VX1. He crewed at 3 state titles as well as the national titles over the summer break. Sam often crewed here on Sundays and Wednesdays on the VX as well as some trailable yachts. He has thoroughly enjoyed his time at the front of the boat. Matt is very well known by the younger members of the yacht club as a boy who's always laughing and here to have fun. Matt enjoys sailing and racing his Optimus, but he also gets as much enjoyment out of helping and teaching the younger members of the Opti squad everything he knows about the boat. Matt is always the first to help an instructor or volunteer with a problem and is relied upon by many senior members of staff to help with the Opti squad. Matt is also a valuable member of his squad and a worthy recipient of the award. Ed has developed his skills quickly and he is now the top-ranked Opti sailor in the ACT and plays competitively in his national titles, in which he won 3 races and also held first place overall for 2 out of 6 days of the regatta. Ed took out the Opti division in the championship racing this summer season and is very competitive with his other Opti sailors. Ed still has a few years left in the Opti and he will develop into a very talented young sailor. Emily is a highly regarded assistant instructor among our more senior staff. Emily can be relied upon to manage a group of young sailors and they will always have learnt a new tip or trick under her guidance. Emily has developed her own sailing a lot over the last 12 months whilst training both in the 420 and the laser, allowing her to teach a wide array of areas in her profession. We believe that Emily will develop into a well-rounded instructor in years to come. Annabelle has been a committed member of the youth team here in Canberra, whilst also travelling to Sydney most weekends to train with the New South Wales Laser team. Annabelle competed in both Laser Nationals and Worlds, as well as Youth Nationals and a fair few state titles. Annabelle has been managing her love for the sport all while completing her final year at school. I believe Annabelle is a deserving recipient of this award. Julian has been the most consistent race attendee this season here at the Yacht Club. In his new class, the Laser, he's taken out the club point score series and placed second overall and first junior in the club championship series. Julian has competed at multiple laser regattas this season, ranging from state events to Laser World Championships held in Melbourne earlier this year. Julian is enjoying his new class and is looking to bigger and better things in the season to come. The sailing school has had a somewhat interesting season with the varying conditions, from the constant relentless norwesterly winds over spring to the smoke and hailstorm over the summer break and now the ongoing pandemic. Despite these setbacks, the sailing school has received constant praise from both members of the club, parents and the wider community in the way that we handled these conditions with our modified training activities. We as a school still managed to be one of the largest sailing centres in Australia, with over 700 learn to sail kids come through our program and 50 new adult sailors joining the club with the intention to start racing with us next season. We've had a great number of staff step up and take on more responsibility over the season, allowing our programs to run more smoothly with a higher standard. We are looking forward to having a bigger and better season next year.
The CYC once again made its name as one of the best venues in the country to host a regatta. Here's some snapshots from some of our favourites.
You can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You can be a hero, you can get the gold, breaking all the records they thought would never be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try? Do it for your country, do it for your name, because there's gonna be a day when you're...
And now for our major award winners.
For well over 2 decades, the Hart family, Sue and Richard, Steve and Briley, have enriched the Canberra Yacht Club, participating in all aspects of its community. Sue has served on the committee in the roles of Rear Commodore Operations, Vice Commodore, and Commodore, leading the Yacht Club from strength to strength, giving freely of her time to ensure that the club is well placed to meet the needs of its members. Madam Commodore has been ably supported by Richard, who, while a strong participant in the trailable division, has made himself available at all times to provide the support needed to allow the club to host a range of regattas, events, and sailing activities, far in excess of the usual duty load. He also volunteers his time as an instructor on the annual powerboat handling course. Steve Hart has balanced the demanding role of general manager, sailing instructor, and mentor and role model to his staff, while also sailing a very full calendar on his Sharpie to compete at state and national level each year. His wife Briley has stepped up to help organize several of the social functions during the year, and her behind-the-scenes energy and enthusiasm has been a great asset to the club, not to mention her amazing patience in listening to whichever long-winded technical issue the club is facing that week. In an unprecedented year that has seen fires, hail damage, smoke, and pandemic impacting on all the business of the club, there have been few families that have provided as much leadership, commitment, and time to minimize the impact and preserve the operations of the Canberra Yacht Club to secure its future. Thank you to the Hart family.
Enthusiasm, a commitment to learn and improve, and a willingness to take on new challenges have characterised Juan Gershman's sailing in Dancing Barefoot 2, now renamed Mate. Both at the CYC and away over the 2019-20 season, and particularly over the first half of the season, Juan and his crew achieved consistently improving results. Juan participated in the March 2020 Marley Point overnight race, finishing 19th over the line in his division, and in a creditable 11th place out of 48 starters in that division. Juan's performance this year points to increasing sailing success in coming seasons, and it is great to see the obvious enjoyment Juan, his crew, and his family have found in trailable racing and cruising. Congratulations, Juan Gershman.
Steve Hart and Fergus Buckley, the Rocket Fuels crew, put some serious hours into their Sharpie sailing this year, starting with a quick bit of maintenance that turned into a 4-month major winter refit of the boat. With the boat back on the water for the start of the CYC season, Steve and Fergus threw themselves into a dedicated training schedule, hitting the water for regular twilight racing, as well as any time there was plenty of breeze. The boat took out second place in the Sharpie division of the ACT Dinghy Champs, after snatching a heat win from 10 times New South Wales Sharpie State winner Michael Forster. In the second round of the New South Wales Sharpie States on Botany Bay, the guys took out a second place. Then everything was strapped down to head to the west, where the Rocket represented the CYC in an all-star regatta against 53 other Sharpie crews. The Swan River put on a show with most days averaging 25 knots, and some spectacular breakages made the Rocket one of only 15 boats to complete every heat, showing the hard days of boat maintenance and crew work paid off. The guys finished up 13th overall, first New South Wales and ACT boat, and first country boat. The teamwork and dedication Fergus, Steve, and of course Noah Taylor showed this season was great to see, and a useful example of how to run a successful campaign.
Although a valued employee of the CYC, Dylan McGrath's willing, cheerful, and highly intelligent contributions extend far beyond his paid roles and reflect a consistent readiness to go the extra mile and apply exceptional effort and his considerable abilities to deliver the best possible results. Always willing to turn his mind to complex challenges, Dylan is a person who readily takes the initiative to deliver improvements and to help out where needed. It seems that, when his contribution is needed, nothing is too much trouble for Dylan, and he's made an outstanding contribution to a very wide range of aspects of the CYC's operations. Further evidence of his ready willingness to contribute effectively is seen in his contribution to team sailing, both in the ACT and nationally, as a coach, regatta administrator, and recognised nationally as the leading expert on delivering balanced and fair teams racing draws. Along with all of his hard work, Dylan is an enthusiastic and competitive sailor in both lasers and as a VX1 crew member. He does not let any opportunity to sail pass him by and has a creditable record of sailing participation. Dylan is the model club member, both as a sailor and a constantly willing and invaluable contributor. He is an outstanding asset to the CYC. Congratulations, Dylan. Gerda Lambeck's contribution to all aspects of life at the Yacht Club is outstanding. She is at the club at 9 a.m. every Sunday, ensuring that the sailability sessions run smoothly and that everyone has fun. Gerda rarely misses a CYC club race and sails all year round. This year she achieved second place in her division at the ACT Dinghy Championships and third in the CYC Championship Series. She was training hard for the Hanson Nationals that were to be held at Easter but were sadly cancelled. Her dedication towards sailability emphasises the importance of inclusion within sailing, and the example she sets by racing regularly has inspired many to do the same. She is a key member of the CYC Sailability Committee and often takes the lead in ensuring the Hansa fleet is well maintained. She continues to go above and beyond what is expected of her, and without her hard work and commitment to the club, the sailability program and sailing in general at the CYC wouldn't be the same. Thank you, Gerda. First over the line and first place on handicap in Division A of the March 2020 Marley Point overnight race is a highlight of a very successful season for Shane Kershaw on Morticia. This spectacular success complements excellent participation and highly competitive results in CYC club racing and regattas. Missing only 5 races over the 2019-20 CYC Point Score Series, Morticia finished in a creditable 5th place out of 26 entries in his division. In the CYC Championship Series, Morticia started in all races in the series to achieve 2nd place in his division. He achieved 2nd place in his division in the 2019 Wild Digital City of Canberra ACT Trailable Yacht Championships and won his division in the 2020 Chief Minister's Regatta. Despite this busy sailing schedule, Shane has managed to volunteer to assist with a number of extra races and regattas during the season, even more than you would expect for the husband of the person writing that roster. Throughout the series, Shane has made a consistently positive contribution to the CYC activities, both on and off the water. We're sure that Shane would like us to also mention his regular and hard-working crew, Zoe Kershaw, Mary Kershaw and Cole Durham. Congratulations, Shane Kershaw and the crew of Morticia. A huge thank you to CYC's Julian Taylor for all of his filming and editing during the year, as well as his incredible work compiling and editing this presentation. Thanks, Julian.